How often do you think about the security of your home, your child's school, or your adult daughter's apartment? If you're a mom, the answer is probably frequently. Today's guest had the same worries as you until a school shooting incident hit a little too close for comfort.
You know, it happened close to home in Houston here. Mm-hmm. There was an incident, and so when my youngest daughter in elementary school came home, I said, tell mommy what you do in that situation. And she told me that she's supposed to run in the classroom, get against the wall, turn off the light, and the teacher closes and locks the door. And I said, what happens if your teacher is not there? And she didn't have an answer. And she said, I don't know, mommy. And I said, so we have a serious problem. And so my husband and I, we went into action.
Today on The Balanced Voice, Rania and Jenn welcome Anna Reger, an invaluable Crime Stoppers of Houston partner. Anna is the founder of Flip Lok, along with her husband John Reger, who is the inventor. Flip Lok is a safety device that started as a way to protect children in case of school shooting. Today, Flip Lok goes far beyond the classroom to protect people in their homes, dorm rooms, offices, and more. Anna believes that everyone deserves to know their loved ones are safe everywhere. Let's jump into our conversation with Anna about finding and creating solutions to safety problems. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Rania and Jenn.
Welcome to the Balanced Voice podcast. We are so thrilled to be here. I'm Rania Mancarios with
Jennifer Homan,
our co-host. How are you, Jen?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. We just had a new year.
I know we did. Holidays.
I know. And we're so excited to have a special guest with us, Anna Reger. Anna, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Rania. Thank you guys so much.
We were so lucky to connect last year?
Yes.
Well, actually, literally last year. Because you are the founder of Flip Lok, not only an incredible device, but you have an incredible story. So we're so happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How was your new year?
Fantastic. Most of the kids were home. One's still in Thailand, but the rest of them are home.
In Thailand?
She lives in Thailand. She's not been back, so we're living life with her coming next year, Christmas.
Ooh, nice. Good.
I'm not at the point yet where I can imagine having my kids live anywhere but like 100 feet away.
Yeah. Like living in the same house until
you
they're
have
30.
One out of the house.
I do, but he's 17.
Yeah,
and then I have one still at the house who's 23.
It's flipped.
Yeah.
Well,
late bloomers. It's okay.
It's okay.
Anna, you have such a fascinating story. Okay, so you are a woman whose past is literally unbelievable. You've truly overcome so much. And then you've used what you've overcome to create solutions for some of what I would say are some of the most complicated and real-time pressing issues. So let's start with your background.
Okay. You mean as far as where I came from?
Yeah. Okay. Your story is unbelievable.
So I was born, I'm the oldest of 7 actually. My father was legally blind and we were, very low income family. And I left home when I was 14. I took care of special needs children in the meantime because it was my passion. It was something I just grew into. And later on in life, I didn't go to high school at all, right? And then later on in life, I decided I wanted to go back to school. My dad passed away, and then I also lost a brother. And I decided I wanted to go back to school. I really wanted to show and set an example for my family. Nobody had really graduated college or anything. And my dad always wanted me to later. And so I went back and I got my bachelor's degree at the University of, actually I went to HCC first, right? I wasn't sure I could go to, I could get my GED. I got my GED, went to HCC and took the test. I was at college level at everything except for math, which I still despise to this day.
Me too. Amen.
It's algebra, just not my thing.
Yes. Plus minus multiplication and division, that's all I want to do.
We have phones.
Yeah, right. I mean, what's the deal? Okay, and so I almost quit college because of algebra. And I was in anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 and pre-algebra and all, what do you call it? A lot of science classes because I was going to be a nurse, and that was my real. I was going to be a nurse and go back and take care of special needs children and adults. And then when I got into the University of Houston, after I got my associates in science there, I got a bachelor's of science at the University of Houston, and I realized that I took a marketing class and I just thought, wow, I really love this. And going into the nursing program was going to be hard for me because I had to support myself and I couldn't really not work and, pay for school and pay for my life. So I decided to go into business. So I got a minor in entrepreneurship, a bachelor of science with a minor in entrepreneurship.
Amazing. Wow.
And marketing. And so that's kind of where I, went into business and started, noticing that I could really do well in business. And that's pretty much then of course I was in several accidents and had a near-death experience where they read my last rites. One of the people in the car was actually killed, and it was a drunk driving situation, and it was, someone that I trusted to be the driver, and I didn't even drink it. It was my birthday, it's my birthday week, and so somebody died, somebody got put in a wheelchair, and I was given, 3 days to live, and thank God I'm here.
How old were you?
I was 21.
So achieving safety and security has been a theme throughout your life for a long time, right? Trying to get to that safe place. And so it makes sense why you've done what you've done.
Yes, thank you.
So you now are the founder of Fliplok. You're a huge partner for Crime Stoppers. If you've watched this podcast, you hear about Fliplok every single episode because we really believe in what you're doing. And so talk to us about where this idea came from. And preparing for the podcast, there was discussions about you creating this device to help women in abusive situations. Obviously, we're very interested in the impact it can have in schools to thwart school shootings. But where did it all come from for you?
So, of course, you all know I'm a mom. I have 6 children, 7 actually, and I'm always concerned about their safety. I'm concerned about my safety when I'm at home. I'm concerned about the daughter that doesn't live at home, that lives in an apartment, and anybody can get into the apartment because they have access. And I was worried about that there. And then, I was worried about my son in a dorm situation. The doors don't lock well, so it was thinking about all the children and where they are. And, oh my gosh, I'm not with them, right? How can I keep them safe? How can I bring peace of mind to myself, to them, and also to other parents, because I can't be the only parent that's thinking like this, right? And so, and also, women, a lot of my friends, I'm scared when I go to bed, I put a chair under my door, and so that's when, the home lock was created. Initially, it was to, make sure that when we're at home, we can go to bed and I can put it in my bedroom. And I said, it has to go in the bedroom because I need to be able to lock that door when my husband's not in town. And I need my daughter to be able to lock her door while she's at home in her apartment that I don't know who has a key to. And my son, while he's in his dorm, and I don't know who's in his room, the other roommates are. And, then it, one day, we were already working on it. And then all the time, we hear these school shootings. We hear, but you think, okay, somebody has a solution. Somebody has a solution. And you just kind of turn a blind, eye to it. And then, it happened close to home in Houston here. There was an incident. And so when my youngest daughter in elementary school came home, I said, tell mommy what you do in that situation. Mommy really I need to understand what happens in that situation. And she told me that she's supposed to run in the classroom, get against the wall, turn off the light, and the teacher closes and locks the door. And I said, what happens if your teacher is not there? And she didn't have an answer. And she said, I don't know, mommy. And I said, how do you know for sure that your teacher locked the door?
Yeah.
She said, I don't, mommy.
Or the lock is strong enough when schools are so old.
Right. And I said, oh, mommy has a problem. So we have a serious problem. And so my husband and I, we went into action. I said, we need to make something that is simple enough for a 5-year-old to use. It's easy to get to. It reminds them of the next step to do, because you see it all the time now. When I started looking and researching what is being done for children, I said they need to know they got to call 911 next, right? So when they flip it and it drops and it locks, it says call 911, because it lets them know the next action step, which is not to pull out your phone and video or call mom and dad. We can't really do anything in that situation.
So you're trying to create, like, when we were kids, stop, drop, and roll?
Yeah.
Is it stop, drop? That's right.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Stop, drop, and roll. So you're trying to create that next mantra of, what do you...
flip, shut, flip, and call or something.
Like, if your teacher's not there, you can still go into action. I want to give my children peace of mind when they're in the classroom, that no matter what, if their teacher leaves, if their teacher's there, they can actually be the other person that can go into action to lock the door, because it gives them peace of mind. No longer are they thinking about, oh my God, if somebody comes in my classroom, what am I going to do? What is my teacher going to do? They go, I know exactly what to do.
So shut the door,
flip it drops
call.
And locks. That's
Drops.
it.
And so we're talking about a metal device that's
right.
affixed to the inside of a door,
Right.
like the inside of a classroom or
Right.
your apartment or your bedroom or your home. And it's a very easy to flip And once you flip it and lock
It flips, it drops and
No
locks.
one can gain entry from the outside. No one can gain
And children have access. So low enough to where a child could reach it.
So yes, so with that in mind, for the schools, yes, you can put it at any height. And I recommend, because of my background with the special needs community, I recommend you put it at an ADA compliant height so that people in a wheelchair also have the same protection and can also go into action to protect themselves. It's important for everybody to be able to feel secure.
So Anna, I have to tell you a little bit. Sure. I was probably one of those 5-year-olds that would pull the fire alarm and set the fire alarm.
I am not surprised.
So
not surprised.
Bit of a risk taker.
Yes.
So what happens when a child, let's say the teacher goes out and you have a Jennifer in a room and
thinks it's funny
and flips that lock? How does somebody re-enter?
Well, for the schools, especially for the schools, we have 6 kids, like I said. We have 6, 7, and we have boys, so they're very mischievous. And yes, we absolutely created a lock, an unlocking mechanism that is for law enforcement, for administrators, for anybody that needs to have that lock, that unlocking device. We have that for them. And we don't advertise it as much because it's really for the safety of the children.
Good. So you don't tell what it is. You just give it to them. So then
it's already there. They everybody that knows, that the people that need to know.
Got it.
And the mischievous Jennies won't know that they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
The teacher gets in there.
It'd be like, change our grades now. Let's go.
But it's so important because when you study, okay, let's just focus on school shootings, because obviously any parent, any human in this country has a desire to stop a school shooting. You don't want to hear that this is happening. But you also have to think of, you mentioned why, there has to be a solution. There has to be a solution. Well, one of the problems with all these different devices, they've looked at school barricades and all of these things, but you have to make sure fire departments can get in. You have to make sure law enforcement can get in. What if a shooter goes into the room and barricades the door and starts shooting everybody in the classroom? That is a disaster.
Right.
But I like that your device thought about that and created a solution.
Right. And the difference with our device is, like I said, it's ADA compliant. There's a certain place that we recommend them stores one of the keys for the emergency personnel that can be accessed by anybody. And it's important to me that every student can use it. And I created Fliplok for the school specifically, with not just a locking device.
Thank you to our Season 5 sponsor, Flip Lok, for making this episode possible. Flip Lok was created as a nationwide, straightforward solution to protect your people, whether it be in universities, dorms, daycares, hospitals, or even government buildings. We're proud to have such a strong and like-minded sponsor this season. Check out Fliplok at fliplok.com. That's FLIPLOK.com.
So a school here in Houston just took the whole system, and we created a unique alert. The unique alert tells the kids, go into action, because it's a unique alert, like a fire.
Okay.
If it's a fire, it's a fire. We know what to do. But the problem that I see, and that I've seen recently and everywhere that I've done research, is there's a different alert. There's a different alarm. Some people turn the fire alarm lower. Well, my kid, Jennifer probably didn't know that when she was in class, right? How are you going to differentiate that? So we made a unique alert that tells the kids, go into action. There's a situation. So lock the doors. So it's a lockdown drill, right?
So there's a specific alert for use the Fliplok now.
Right. It's beep, 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 Fliplok, Fliplok. They know. What is it? It's very simple. You run into the classroom, you shut the door, you flip it, you drop your lock, you still get against the wall, you still do all those things, but now you know 100% that the door is locked. And then you also are reminded of the next step, which is call 911. And then we have an all clear. Why? Because I've seen it time and time again. You've probably seen it. The police come into the classroom. I need my kid to know that you're not a bad guy.
Yes.
She's terrified at this point.
Yes.
You're coming in with AR-15s, and I have a problem with you not letting them know it's all clear. Whoever's coming in is a good guy. You don't need to be scared anymore. And so that's why we created the all clear, because I believe that they need to let the children know.
Yes.
Period. Because I don't want to see... these children they're scared to go to school. The teachers are scared to teach. So now we've not only used our device to empower the children, but we've empowered the teachers. The teachers no longer have the only device to lock the door, the only key to lock the door. That's a lot of pressure on teacher too, because a teacher could be on the other side of the classroom and something could happen. A student should be able to run into action and be able to protect the classroom, not just the teacher.
So Anna, have you thought about, when I was the 8th grade, going into 9th grade, we had a school shooting at Langham Creek High School. I was at the middle school, and I was going to matriculate to the high school, and the shooting happened by a student in our auditorium. I mean, in our in the cafeteria. I wasn't there, but I had many friends that were older than me, and so. Are you looking at those types of solutions too when there are in open areas but still enclosed inside the school? Does Fliplok have any play there as well?
So we would, the thing about Fliplok is putting it on each classroom, right? A lot of people are concerned with like the exterior doors of the building, but the truth is a lot more of those cases have been a student that's already in the building.
In the classroom.
So the deal is to isolate that situation. We really want to protect the rest of the children. You don't know if there's another person. We don't know what the situation is, but we need the rest of the children to be safe. And that's our big priority. As a mom, I want to go, okay, I know my daughter's in that room and I know there's a Fliplok and we've had it tested. It's over 2,100 pounds of pressure. Nothing's getting through that door.
Unless you have the key.
That's right. And unless you have the key, and then we can also know that our children are secure. It buys them time, because no times do you see a guy standing at the door kicking it in. They want instant gratification.
Right.
So to your point, auditoriums, meeting rooms, we can even lock those doors down, but I don't think that we can eliminate those situations.
Right.
But what we can do is give the kids a way to evacuate and go lock themselves in somewhere else to get out of that situation.
And you think about the way schools were built traditionally, safety, that type of safety wasn't.
No, we didn't. We weren't worried
You
about
weren't
that.
thinking about that.
No.
You go into a bank and you look at how banks are built, and they're very much built with like, okay, we can't have somebody come in and rob. You look at airports, you can't come in through multiple doors. I mean, airports are built, but schools were built, especially like elementary, middle. I mean, they're built
Open
for
concept.
friendly.
Yeah,
come and
friendly,
run and play. Mom and dad come look. So now we're trying to retrofit schools to deal with like a crisis across the country, and there's more than one solution in the sense that we need a solution for the classrooms.
Right.
You're creating that. We need a solution for auditoriums. We need a solution for ingress and egress. We also need a cultural shift,
Right.
because we need to raise a generation that is
Cautious
absolutely
and understand safety. Yeah.
yeah,
absolutely.
it's like, no way, we're not going to have this on our campus and we'll be
Right.
part of the solution. So you're training now, you're going into schools. You just did a drill.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So we did the alert, like I said, we put it in the school. And when we did the school, we did the alert. We wanted to show the children, this is what happens. But, being there and seeing those children go through even an alert, that's just an alarm. It scared them. They were little. They were elementary. They were scared. They were running. It was chaotic. And they were already warned it was a drill, right? But it's still scary to little kids. So I think when I got to experience that personally, because when I first saw my daughter in the video that you guys may have seen from us, it made me, I literally cried, because I was like, oh my God, my daughter has to live
Yes, I know.
in this world where we have to really think about our children's safety. And I think it's unfair that we have to do that. And so, it just really, it hit me really hard to see that this is the world, and like you said, we have to do a cultural shift. We have to step in as the parents, as the Crime Stoppers, as the people that can advocate for our children and give them a safer place to go to school, because it's not getting better. It's not going to change. I was turning my head to it for many, many years, and now it's time for us to step in and for us to go, we can do better. And I'm advocating going to Austin and advocating for standardization of active threat drills in our schools, because it's
Which I think
absolutely
is
time.
so important.
And didn't even know that we didn't have
I
something
know.
like
Can
that.
you believe we don't have
No.
that?
No, we don't. Every
We're
school needs to
behind the
pick.
times.
Yeah.
Do you have a bill that you're writing now, or
We're working with some people to try to see what we can do there. I'm working with legislation. People there are very supportive. They do think it is time. I've talked to the Texas board, TASB or something, all these other different boards, and we've talked to them, and they really think it is time too. There's a standard, but it's the run in the classroom, get against the wall. If somebody comes in, fight for your life. Well, my daughter's in elementary. She's not going to fight for her life. That's just not it. That's not an
And
option.
that those solutions don't incorporate the real life trauma, the sounds, the screaming, the chaos, the fear, the panic.
the environment that you're in when you're trying to have an adult, much less a child, react
Right.
properly?
And they're thinking about it now. They're scared.
I will tell you, last night I was looking at my own home, and it's crazy when you look at your doors and they have window glass panes. You're like, really, are those really safe?
I know.
Do
I know.
And then I was looking at my front door, these huge big doors, and we have one of those little latch. We have one of these things. We have
Like a latch with
it's
a
like
spring.
No, it's just like a
Like a little flip.
like a flip thingy, but definitely not definitely wouldn't hold 2,100 pounds, whatever. So what my next solution that I'd love you to come up with is something that's like ornate, that doesn't look, that's not red.
Oh, we have that.
But
Oh, you
she
do? Oh,
has
you
it.
do? I haven't seen,
Yes.
I
We
didn't
have
see
the
that.
home version.
So you have the home version that
We
were kind of
have,
decorative.
silver, bronze, and black. We have them.
didn't see that part.
They're already in stock. We've been actually selling quite a bit. We've just started a TikTok. We had 800,000 views on one of our TikTok
That's
from home.
amazing.
We
I
have
love
the,
it.
the Instagram has been insane with a lot of just the feedback, and just having everybody wanting to secure it, because Fliplok for the home, we have an adapter where you can actually put it in your bedroom. So the thing about home Fliplok is any room in your home can be a safe room. And that's important to me because I want my daughter to be safe in her apartment. I want my son to be safe in his living apartment with 4 other college roommates, right?
Yeah.
And then I want all my kids to be safe.
I need
son in his
mine to be
home.
my pocketbook to be safe for my children.
Seriously. Well, that's
Like,
never
flip-lock
going to
them
happen.
out.
Flip-lock the wallet.
The other thing, I think, so normally when you like, sometimes husbands buy or partners buy their partners or spouses birthdays and Christmas presents. We should give our husbands and partners Fliplok.
I know. Well, my question
Sometimes we get
was-
vacuum cleaners and
No.
appliances. Let's
Not-
give Fliplok to
no.
our husbands.
And I guess my question is, how do parents say, wait a minute, I want this in my kid's school?
So they need to contact their school administrators, everybody in the schools. And I think we're going to start a petition that says, we need to do standardized active threat drills in Texas schools. Some states have a standard. It's quasi-standard, but it's a lot more than what we have here right now.
PTAs. Get your PTAs
PTAs
and
need to get
PTOs.
involved.
Yeah, because
involved.
unfortunately, as a parent, I can't go buy one and gift it to the school and say, put it on my child's door.
You have to go through the process. And the good thing about Fliplok and what I really did, because I did come from a low income school, and that was, where I have my roots and where I want to make sure we support them as well, is it's a one-time buy. So it's a
Yes.
one-time buy. I give a lifetime warranty. You don't have to do a service. You don't have to. So I think that if we got PTOs involved, parents, that people would absolutely give $189 for one door.
100%.
And then
Absolutely.
we got kids that have $1,000 cell phones. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
No,
It doesn't even have to be a
Parents will chip
budgetary.
in.
Exactly.
Parents will
will
chip
chip in.
in.
It doesn't even have to be a budgetary item. I think so many parents would be excited to gift that to their school.
Yes.
Anna, we love people that come up with solutions. It's such, in a society that's always fighting and bickering and everybody's tearing everybody apart over issues, we always say, who's going to come up with a solution? And that's what Crime Stoppers does. And this is what you're doing. We support it wholeheartedly. We're so excited to have you as part of our family and team, and want to work with you to make sure Fliplok's in every classroom, at least across the state of Texas, whatever we can do to support you. And so we'll make sure to link all your information so people can find you, follow you, get in touch with you. And we thank you for everything you're doing.
The other thing I want to tell you, you and I come from a similar educational path. It wasn't the traditional one. I didn't go straight from high school to college and even finish. And so what I would love to tell you is that how empowering it is as a woman, as a human, to see someone that feels like they had the weight of the world on their shoulders and didn't think they were taking the right path to create professional and personal success. And it's good to see another woman out there like that.
Thank you so much.
On that, Jen, now I have to say Anna's quote, it doesn't matter where you start, it's all about where you end. I love that.
I agree.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being with us on the Balanced Voice podcast. We'll catch all of you next time. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Balanced Conversation. You can find real solutions and tangible resources in our show notes at thebalancedvoicepodcast.com. To join the conversation, follow us on Instagram at The Balanced Voice Podcast and on Twitter at @BalancedVoice_. Stay up to date on Rania's work by following her at The Rania Report, and we can't wait to see you next week for another Balanced Conversation.